I'm tired of Hugh Freeze saying the same stuff after every single loss.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Darrell Dapprich, Montgomery radio legend, hanging out with us as we react to Auburn's 16-10 loss on the road at College Station, where Hugh Freeze continues to say the same stuff, Darrell. He says the same stuff out of every loss. We got to run the football more. This loss is bringing us together. We're so close. I'm so over it. I'm so over all of this now.
It is absolutely time for the narratives and the coach speak and all the talk just to end and Auburn to finally see results. Enough's enough. I mean, obviously you get to a certain point, you try to give a coach a couple of recruiting classes. It's just not that Auburn's 3-2. It's how they're 3-2. And I want to give you an example of something that I very rarely say. Everybody always just talks about all that matters is the scoreboard. In this scenario, the last 2 weeks, it's not. If you look at this from a bird's eye view and you look at the score, you would say Auburn went on the road and played the number 11 and number 9 team in the country and lost by one score both times. Why is everybody – it's not that. That's not telling the story. That's misleading. It's how they're playing that is the story. Because if they were playing just average on offense and not continually making the same mistakes over and over, they would have won both games or could have won both games. Now, again, the score looks like they're right there. They're so close. How can you – they're playing playing their two – that doesn't matter. This is an example where you throw the scores out. And it's more important of, I always say, what do I always say, Zach? We joke about it. Don't show me how you cut up the cow. Show me the steak. I'm reversing it. How we're cutting up the cow is foul. It's not getting it done. It's absolutely putrid right now on offense. And let's be real. Let's be real with ourselves. Texas A&M absolutely tried to gift Auburn that football game.
So many opportunities.
I mean, that game should not have been. It was 16-10, and it shouldn't have been.
Darrell, they had 2 chances, 2 drives under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And they didn't convert 1 first down.
A&M shot themselves in the foot a couple times. They had a touchdown call back on a motion or whatever they had.
Legal man downfield. That, let's be honest, the 72-yard run by Atkins, although a great play, kind of fluky, bounced into his hands. Would Auburn get down to the 2-yard line otherwise? That ball was in the air for 30 seconds.
Exactly. So
which was awesome. Props for X marks the spot, baby. Yeah,
but A&M gifted that. They gifted a touchdown coming back. Stupid penalties. They had they absolutely tried to implode and hand Auburn that game, and Auburn wouldn't take it. So that game should have been worse than it was. I don't want to hear anything about one-score games like last week, which felt different. I'm not going to overreact and say that there isn't an opportunity still, because I felt like Auburn had a real shot of coming out of these first 5 games 3-2, to be perfectly honest with you. I think I predicted that.
Mm-hmm.
It's how they've arrived at that 3-2 that matters. And there's still a lot of the season left. And there's still an opportunity to win some games and get this turned around if you're willing to change and not be stubborn and change the messaging that you're talking about.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it felt the same. The post-game presser felt the same. Him sitting next to Jackson. And I mean, how many times do we hear this is a quote? We probably need to be calling some more runs. I would love to have the possession right before the last one we had back. We had plenty of time to run the ball there too. Yeah, we all knew that. We all knew that in real time. But like when the weight is the heaviest, he disappears. And once again, like I think it goes back to there's no plan. It seems like there's no plan at the start of games. There's no plan at the end of games. It seemed like instead of an actual offense, it was just a collection of different play calls in the first half. I do think the play calling was better in the second half. They just couldn't finish drives, which is another issue in and of itself. There's just no discipline on this football team. There's no culture that cultivates excellence on the offensive side of the football, which is where Hugh Freeze, I mean, he's the offensive guy. That's why you brought him in. And it's just, Alan Green had the quote when it was time to move on from Gus about how there was no hope. This loss, Darrell, has turned a lot of the people that were on the fence with Hugh Freeze firmly against him. A lot of people that were on the fence with Jackson Arnold firmly against them. And we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, I mean, that's the story that has yet to be written, in my opinion. I still think there is an opportunity, and I'm not being naive, and I'm not being a Pollyanna about it. There's an opportunity to still get things corrected. And again, I've 3-2 is what was staring Auburn in the face. It's how they got to that 3-2. I want to say something too about the non-planning part. I think that part of that too gets amplified with some of the stupid penalties that the offensive line is committing. I mean, Auburn had, I'm going to give you a particular series. Jackson Arnold gets a first down on a really, really gutsy run, and it gets called back for an illegal shift. He makes a beautiful pass along the sidelines to Brandon Frazier, who tippy-toes on the sidelines, which I think would have been inside the 15. On a rollout, off-balance throw, and it comes back for holding. So how many penalties did Auburn couldn't hear the snap count, jumped off? So they were playing behind the chains a lot. That does change plans. But I think even before that, Zach, do you realize that people were very transparent with us saying Texas A&M struggled stopping the run? If we know that, how does Auburn's coaching staff not know that? And they did not hand it off to a running back at all in the first quarter?
I mean, it seemed intentional. It seemed that we are intentionally not going to use our running backs.
So my question is, and this is where I'm not trying to pile on, and I really hate that I wasn't able to be at the press conference, because the question was asked about why you didn't run it more. And he basically went to the same answer that he went to last week. It was like a canned response. We want to run. I think a follow-up question would have been in order, and I would have asked it. I died to ask it. Okay, I want to follow up on that. You just said you want to. You said the same thing last week. Then why aren't you?
Yeah, you also said it last year.
Exactly. So you keep saying you want to. Why aren't you then? It's successful. What's holding you back from that?
On the topic of running, Justin Ferguson tweeted this out last night. Auburn's game-sealing touchdown drive in week 1 against Baylor featured 7 carries from running backs. Auburn's entire game in week 4 against Texas A&M featured 8 carries from the running backs. We were so excited post Baylor because it's like, oh, Hugh Freeze is going to call what works. And that's not what's happened since then.
He's gotten impatient. He's panicked.
It sucks, man.
When you're when you're down 1 score, you can still run the football. When they load the box, you can still run the football. Cobb sometimes breaks out from the other side of that. There's a lot there to unpack, but I think there's a deeper underlying reason why he's being so stubborn, because who in their right mind would self-sabotage their own program and their own career and keep getting proven wrong over and over, unless you're promised something or you feel like you've got these receivers that you got and told them that, that there's certain amount of touches or targets they're going to get. I don't know, but I don't care. The purpose is to do what you did against Baylor and win the football game. And if people want to pout and sulk because they don't get targeted, that's just tough. I'm not saying they are.
That's football.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they are. But
there's other aspects. There's other aspects of it, though, where like when they are getting targeted, the offense isn't allowing them to succeed. And there's a lot that goes into a target, right? But Cam Coleman was targeted 8 times and he got 18 yards.
Yeah.
The second best receiver in college football thrown at 8 times, and your offense has him set up to get 18 yards. One of those was a drop, so add 5, right, if you want to. But still, we're having the same conversation. If he was thrown to 8 times and he got 23, 24 yards. Like, we got more next right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at 5 Hour Energy. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5 Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors, Darrell, with 2-ounce shot packs, the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. We've talked about it before. Afternoon rolls around. You got to finish today strong. You don't want to be like the Auburn offense in the second half. You want to finish drive strong. 5 Hour Energy helps you get to the end zone. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavorful upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Online, 5hourenergy.com, and on Amazon today. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel's America's #1 sports book. Auburn covered plus 6.5. That was the line. FanDuel has nailed the line for Auburn these past 2 weeks. They've been all over it. And as we record this, they do not have a line out yet. Oh, they won't have a line out for another week or so, probably against Georgia. But head over to FanDuel right now. If you win your first $5 bet, you can get a ton, $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. I mentioned at the top, I'm just so tired of the talking about how close you are. The lack of coaching, the lack of putting players into success, it's so frustrating. Now, a good part of this is the timing. You have a bye week. And he mentioned this, like they're going to like look at every aspect of their offense, from personnel to play calling to all of that. But I just don't believe they're going to make a change at quarterback. They might make a change on the offensive line. Xavier Chaplin has been awful. But I don't know what else you can do.
The most disappointing thing for me is that 2 years in a row, Auburn felt like they had a left tackle in the portal that was going to be a solid contributor and Chaplin, who was rated by a lot of people as the best tackle. So what is that?
He was so good at Virginia Tech. He didn't just get worse at football.
So why did he regress? Why did he regress? Why did Percy Lewis regress? The answer is obvious. The answer is obvious. And it's frustrating because like guys like Gunnar Britton came in and played well, and I think Tall's played well. But
I'm going to be honest, Mason Murphy has exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. I don't.
And Dylan Wade's been good.
It's there's an issue at tackle where no matter who you try, it becomes just.
Can I take another step back? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Like same topic, but let's zoom out just a hair. Portal scouting offensively, I think, is a conversation here. Where like, I don't know where you are on Jackson yet, but yesterday really threw off my opinion of Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, I think that there were some times there that he made plays. It's hard to tell because of the rhythm and penalties and plays.
The offense scored 3 points.
I know, but again, the offense scored 10, but they got the ball to 2, but still.
They don't get credit for a 2-yard drive. I'm sorry.
But again, go back to the play he made along the sidelines and he gets called back for holding, or the first down that he runs 15 yards for and it gets called for an illegal shift. I mean,
he's still like asking for the ball while 2 guys are in motion.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Again, I'm telling you right now, it's the triangle of death. It's not just one thing. And anybody that thinks it is
You're
as
right.
being too simplistic. It's Jackson and his decision making and not letting go of the ball, playing scared because he's afraid of turning it over. It's the play calling, which is a 4th and 1, and that's the play you run for the game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And
Great
it's
point.
the offensive line and the crap that they're doing, getting whipped, false starts. It's all of it. And, even I think about that play, I think on 3rd down, or maybe it was 2nd down on that last drive. I think, if I remember correctly, he missed a wide open Eric Singleton, wide open, and Singleton kind of looked like frustrated. If you convert that, you're not worried about 4th and 1, and you keep the drive alive. So yeah, he missed a throw there. I will have to say that give Brandon Frazier credit. He caught a lot of balls today. He actually had a couple of catches where he ran with the ball after. Got a first down, made that, like I said, that nice toe tap along the sidelines that didn't count. But there's a conglomerate of things that are happening. And anybody that wants to just focus in or hone on one thing, it's ridiculous. It's not just Jackson Arnold. Everyone that just wants to say it's Jackson Arnold, he sucks, get rid of him. It's not just him.
You're right. I said, that's what everybody was saying in
It's
the
play calling.
live chat last night. It's like, okay, so let's say you bench Jackson and you start Deuce. Is Xavier Chaplin all of a sudden staying on sides? Is he all of a sudden a better player in pass protection? Does the play calling make a little bit more sense if Deuce Knight starts? I don't think so.
No. The only way you change that is if you were to get somebody that was probably had a little more experience, got the ball out quicker, where your offensive line isn't getting exposed, or somebody that could get out on the perimeter. But Jackson Arnold at times has shown that he could do that. Again, he is not playing at the level that you need a quarterback to play at to win. I look at other quarterbacks around the league and it just looks different. It just does. I'm like, I watch receivers getting open, and I'm like, how come Auburn's receivers never look like they're open? Like everything has to be so hard, right?
It's crazy.
I don't watch guys get
it's
17
anyone
sacks
in the SEC minus Kentucky. Anyone in the SEC, like you're looking at what Mississippi State's doing right now, and it's like, how are they in a better spot than us?
Yeah, that's very, very, very concerning when they didn't even win a conference game last year. Auburn has gotten 16 sacks, because that 10th one didn't count because of a penalty. They've been sacked 16 times in 2 games. I would love to go in the history books and find out what the all-time record for 2 games in a row, most sacks given up. That has to be it. Here's a stat that's very depressing. This is the one that makes me want to just drink bleach.
Is this the 0-2 one?
Yeah. This is the 3rd year in a row Auburn has started 0-2 in the SEC, and it's the first time they've ever done that, in their history. We've had bad teams with Terry Bowden, Gene Chizik, Tommy Tuberville, Gus Malzahn never had a losing season.
No.
He won 6 games in the SEC, and Auburn fired him. Not to say that they shouldn't have. I'm just telling you look how far things have fallen. And that's the frustrating part for fans when they watch Vandy getting it done and Mississippi State getting it done and Ole Miss being a little bit of a juggernaut and all that. You go, what, why, how, with the resources? And here's 2 cautionary tales. Number one, remember Tennessee, who seems to have figured it out, was in the college football playoff last year. It showed how long it took for them to get back to where they needed to be by making just a couple of bad hires. It's hard to overcome those. Vince Dooley, Butch Jones, Jeremy Pruitt, until they hit on Heupel, they were in the wilderness, baby. And then the other thing is, at what point do you start getting concerned that players say, I want to just sit out the rest of this year, redshirt, and jump off this sinking ship so they can go in the portal? That's scary. And that's in this day and age of college football, it is very, very worrisome that you better start showing hope in life, or it could get even uglier than it is now. It can turn around. It can get better. Trust me. You win at home against Georgia.
You got a bye week.
Yeah.
And then you play Georgia.
And you win that game and something clicks, right? Okay, finally. But I'm saying that I'm still, to me, people can laugh all they want. The jury's still out to me on Missouri and Vanderbilt. I don't care that they're winning games. I want to see them win games on the road against top opponents. They haven't yet.
I'm with you. Yeah,
And
I'm with
so
you.
let's see what happens there.
I want to see a different Hugh Freeze, man. I want to see a different Hugh Freeze.
Oh, I do
don't
too,
want to hear the
because
same 5, canned sentences.
yeah,
I'm over it. I'm so over it.
yeah. It's about how this is unfolding, I think, more than the actual result.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I don't care what he says. Whatever. Put together an offense.
Let's see it.
You're an offensive-minded head coach. Put together a stinking offense.
All the stuff that people kind of targeted in the offseason, that we were all just cautioning people, just wait and see. Some of it is coming to fruition, like if there really is 3 offensive coordinators. I don't believe there is. I believe he called that game plan. It was his plays. He had the play sheet over his mouth. But
it looks like he's calling it.
Yeah. So I guess the bottom line is, in a nutshell, there are no answers right now. I wish that there was something that we could point to. I get people like you do tagging me in tweets and messaging me and texting me, and there is nothing that I can point to and go, that's it. It's a combination of things, and unfortunately, again, you lost 2 very winnable football games because of what you did, and how you did it. So if you could have been less stubborn and perhaps had a little different game plan, perhaps tried running the football more, whatever. I mean, and on a positive side, give credit to the defense. They are playing incredible, right? I do believe what I heard about Texas A&M secondary being a little suspect. They did a good job of covering, but they didn't have to cover Auburn's receivers very long with the pressure there. Think about that. If you have time to throw, Auburn's receivers would have got open. They weren't open that much because the defensive line.
Well, and there's no balance, right? Like if you're an edge rusher against Auburn, you're teeing off.
Yep.
You're teeing off. And so some of this is like, is the offensive line as bad as the production is? I don't think so. Like, I think a lot of this, I think almost all of it is coaching. I think almost all of it is coaching when it comes to, whether it's instilling discipline or whatever, everything that falls in that bucket, whether it's play calling, and then whether it's like whatever you're teaching Jackson isn't getting there. And that's coaching.
Well, the other thing is, we always talk about playing to your strengths. When this offensive line gets the criticism and they're very maligned, one aspect of this offensive line should be praised. When Auburn is running the football, this offensive line does a pretty good job of run blocking. Yeah. And they're not getting an opportunity to do that.
It's
you're playing away from your strength. And I even said against South Alabama from the press box, I said, I'm a little worried about Auburn's pass protection. South Alabama got to him a little bit. So when they run it, though, they look really good. The offensive line controls the line of scrimmage. Give them an opportunity to do what they do best. That's all anybody's asking. If they're a bunch of road graders, and we know Jeremiah Wright is, and Connor Lew, when they run the football, even Chaplin was effective run blocking. But they're not getting an opportunity to do what they do best, and that's very disappointing. That's the number one job of a coach, is to put his players in a position to do what they do best, and he's taking away their strengths. He's de-blanking them.
Yeah, and it's I think it's a strength of Jackson. You can still get Eric Singleton involved. And then imagine Cam Coleman with a threat of play action.
Yeah. How many times do they run the jet sweep?
We're running play action stuff when it's like 3rd and 12. I'm like, no, stop it. Like, Jackson has enough going on in his brain where, like,
I know there's
it doesn't make sense.
There's 2 weeks to have to marinate on this, and it's going to be a really, really big night. Cam Newton getting his number retired, night game, orange out.
Yep.
You know, this crowd will be into it. Jordan Hare
sure.
does some things, hopefully for the love of God, because it's a home crowd. Chaplin can stay on side and not false start because he can hear the snap count. I don't know. And then that's the other thing, real quick, to kind of wrap this up. Coaching, not only are you responsible as a coach to put your players in what they do best, if you've got personnel on the field that's killing you, it's your responsibility to get somebody else out there that's not. That's like one of the most
not other options at tackle is crazy.
It's crazy. That's the one that's really chapping me the most is continue. Thornton's heard on a live mic telling Chaplin, if you don't stay on side, you're not playing. And after that comment, he jumped off 2 more times and had a brutal holding penalty and got whipped like a turnstile.
And that's a culture thing too, is like there's no negative repercussions for when you mess up.
No accountability.
No accountability.
Get somebody else on the field that quits making those mistakes. And if you're a coach and you keep running the same person out there, that's on you. You're a fool and you don't deserve to be around.
How can people check out everything you've got going on?
You can follow me at DAP6410, even though I said for about 2 hours I went dark today. I said I can't stay on this app anymore. I had to step away. And Wednesdays and Fridays with you, Locked on Auburn. We'll have a lot to talk about. And then tomorrow night or tonight, actually, the Barn podcast will go live. So 8:00.
Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked on Auburn.